Hello everyone, welcome to the Ichimoku.co daily FX market review for the trading day ending Tuesday, September 15th. Firstly to the Euro US dollar on the daily charts, and here we see a change of trend in this market today. A fairly large black body candle highlighting solid downside momentum from the sellers, and that's off the back of the indecisive candle of the previous day's trading and the bearish harami pattern that's been confirmed with the change of trend today. The market previously trading in a bullish manner up through the Kijun-sen indicator, and the lack of follow through after the breakout suggested that the buyers certainly were lacking some strength, and today we've seen the sellers come into the market solidly for today's trading, with the Kijun-sen now holding as resistance for today's trading, whereas it was acting as support for the previous day's trading. There is a good possibility of the market continuing to trade lower, with the sellers taking control and showing some strong commitment today, and possible test down to the Tenkan-sen indicator trading at 112.30, and if that area is breached, we could end up seeing the market test back down to the 111.60 important area of previous support. If the buyers do come into the market for today's trading, for this new session, we do have some strong resistance at the Kijun-sen, which has moved a bit higher at 113.63, and bullish activity would be in line with the market having a strong bullish bias in the longer term time frame by trading above the cloud, and in the shorter term time frame by trading above the Tenkan-sen, the green line here. Now, just looking at the bands with the Euro US dollar, and here we see the market still trading within the band, so no strong bullish bias in that medium term time frame at the moment, and trading around the middle of the band suggests that the market is just lacking a little bit of direction in that medium term time frame. The middle band holding as support for this current candle has closed, so we will be looking to some buying to come in here, and we see previously that the upper band was holding as resistance, and if the market does rally off the middle band here, 113.96, where the middle band trades, may continue to hold as resistance. If we see any selling down through the middle band, the lower band at 111.60 may begin to hold as support. Next to the hourly charts with the Euro US dollar, and for the start of the session we saw the market finding resistance around the top of the Ichimoku cloud, the middle pivot point level in the Kijun-sen, and the confluence of resistance there saw that the buyers weren't strong enough to break out, and we saw eventual selling almost down to the first pivot point support level, rallying to find resistance around those regions once again, and then selling off throughout the latter part of the trading day to breach down through the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud, giving us a bearish market in all three timeframes. At the moment we've opened below each of the Ichimoku indicators. Just looking at tad overextended below the Ichimoku cloud, we could see the market attempt to rally, but we have potentially some resistance around the middle pivot point level at 112.84, and then at the Kijun-sen at 112.92. Any strong selling off these resistance levels may see the market test down to the first pivot point support level at 112.39. Next to the US dollar Japanese yen, and here we see a continued fairly weak trading here with another very small bodied candle. For the past 4 trading days we've seen small bodies here, and this suggests that we have a distinct lack of momentum in either direction in terms of the net movement between the open and the close. Importantly, for the second consecutive trading day, the market found support down below the Tenkan-sen indicator and at or below the 119.85 level of previous support. This technically we do have a downtrend in place here with the current candle making a lower high and a lower low, but we've seen the buyers take control by closing up towards the high, and this suggests that there's a real possibility of the market changing trend to the upside, but any upside change of trend is likely to find strong resistance at the Kijun-sen trading at 120.87, and we've seen that resistance coming in for 4 of the past 5 trading days. So a very indecisive market trading between the resistance at the Kijun-sen and the support below the Tenkan-sen. So we're waiting for resolution, and with the market being bearish in that longer term time frame and still bearish in the medium term time frame, we're likely to see that resolution to the downside, but the sellers are going to have to be strong enough to close in a bearish manner down below the Tenkan-sen and below the 119.85 level of support. In terms of the bands here with the US dollar, Japanese yen, and for the past 5 or 6 trading days, we've seen that middle band holding a strong resistance, the market testing just above there and failing to close above there. Very, very significant trading. And what we see here also is bands squeezing together now. And previously we saw the bands quite wide, and that followed that very strong bearish breakout down below the lower band. The market then congesting and retracing back towards the equilibrium as suggested by the middle of the bands. Squeezing together is setting the market up for another potential breakout and another potential either bullish or bearish trending price action. We're not going to see that yet. What we need to see is either a bullish breakout above the upper band and then bullish follow through, or a bearish breakout down below the lower band and bearish follow through. And there's no sign here, with the market trading around the middle of the bands, suggests that we have a rather neutral market in the medium term time frame. To the hourly charts with the US dollar, Japanese yen, and we saw the market attempting to rally after the opening of the session that has just closed, finding some resistance around the very thin Ichimoku cloud, and there was an opportunity there for the buyers, but they just weren't strong enough, and wouldn't have taken a lot of effort for them to breach through that thin cloud. We then saw a very strong selling coming in, and that was off the back of that lack of strength of the buyers. Selling came in and the market extended almost down to the second pivot point support level. Following the formation of a very small black body candle with a large shadow on the bottom, we saw the market rally to just breach up through the Ichimoku cloud, but we didn't see any strong follow through following that breach, and we've seen very indecisive trading for the remainder of the day and for the opening of the new session. The market finding resistance around the top of the Ichimoku cloud once again. So the suggestion here is that once again the cloud is holding a strong resistance, as it did early in the previous session. And if we see selling coming in and breaking out through the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud, extending through the middle pivot point at 120.15 and through the Kijun-sen, we could see the market testing to the first pivot point support level, 119.65, and then potentially down to the second level at 118.88. Any strong bullish breakout up above the Ichimoku cloud and strong follow through could see the market easily trading to 120.92 to the first pivot point resistance level. Next to cable, the British pound US dollar, and here we've seen strong selling coming in off the back of these couple of indecisive candles, spinning top type candles after a very strong rally. A suggestion that there was always a very good possibility of a change of trend, and we have seen that confirmed today, with the current candle forming a low high and a lower low. Sellers taking control of the market, building solid downside momentum, and this build of momentum suggests that there's a possibility of the market breaching through the 153.28 level of support that has held up today, and also through the Tenkan-sen. But the Tenkan-sen here, 153.18, which has held a support here, is going to be the benchmark here. If we see strong early selling down through there, we could eventually see the cable testing down to 150.168. Any buying coming in is likely to find resistance around the 154.50 level, where we saw very strong resistance as evidenced by the shadows here on these previous candles. Now, selling down through the Tenkan-sen and through the 153.28 level would be in line with the market being bearish in the longer term time frame by trading below the cloud, and in the medium term time frame by trading below the Kijun-sen indicator. Now, this bearish activity is also supported by the Chikou span being below the corresponding price action, so suggesting that we still do have some solid downside momentum in this market, and therefore we do need to watch the Tenkan-sen at 153.18 very, very closely. Looking to the bands, and with the market trading within the bands, it suggests that we no longer have that very strong negative bias in that medium-term time frame that we saw. But importantly, the middle of the bands holding as resistance for the past 4 consecutive trading days suggests that we now may have a resumption of that negative bias if we see strong follow-through. If the market does continue to trend down, we'll be watching the lower band, 152.63, which may hold as support, but a strong bearish breach down through there and strong follow through could see continued development of the trend to the downside. If the market rallies, watching the middle band, 154.23, to once again hold as resistance. To the hourly charts here with cable, and here we saw for up until the midway through the trading session today that has finished, we saw the market trading within the Ichimoku cloud and very weak and decisive trading. The bottom of the cloud holding a support, the market breaking out through the top of the cloud, but a lack of follow through saw some strong selling coming in, and the lack of follow through suggested that the buyers certainly weren't strong in the market, and then we saw strong selling with the market testing to find support around the second pivot point support level. We've opened well below the Kijun Sen and the Ichimoku cloud, suggesting that market's looking a little overextended. So a rally coming in off here wouldn't surprise, but we may find some resistance around the middle pivot point level 153.74, and then the Kijun Sen indicator at 153.91. Any selling coming in off there may find some strong support down around 152.92 at the second pivot point support level. Next to the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and here we see formation of a very small bodied candle that's found resistance at the Kijun Sen indicator. A candle which has maintained control by the buyers, however, so suggesting that we still could see the market trade higher, but the loss of momentum here suggests that we could see a change of trend. With the market from the previous day's trading showing a very strong white body candle, suggesting we had strong upside momentum, the loss of momentum here is quite significant. As this new session has opened, we've seen resistance coming in at the Kijun Sen indicator at 71.51, as we saw for the previous day's trading. So there's a strong opportunity here for the sellers to reinforce themselves. This would be in line with the market being bearish in that longer term time frame by trading below the Ichimoku cloud, but we should be watching the 70.72 level to potentially hold as some support, as we saw in the recent past here. To the hourly charts with the Aussie dollar, US dollar, and here in the early in the trading session we saw the market almost rally to the first pivot point resistance level, sold off quite strongly from there to find support around the middle pivot point level in the Kijun Sen, attempting to rally but unable to breach through the resistance of the Kijun Sen, trading down through the Ichimoku cloud, no strong bearish breakout, but finding support at the first pivot point support level and rallying to end up back up above the Ichimoku cloud. At the moment the market has sold off in the new session to find support around the top of the cloud. We have a confluence of support here around the middle pivot point level 71.29, the Kijun Sen at 71.24, the cloud then through to the Tenkan Sen at 71.17. If we do see strong buying coming in off this region and a strong bullish close up above the cloud and some strong follow through, we could easily see the Aussie dollar trading up to the 71.77 first pivot point resistance level. Any trading down through the Tenkan Sen is likely to see strong support around the bottom of the Ichimoku cloud down around the 71 cent level, and with the first pivot point support level just down below there at 70.4.